Hey y'all, good morning. I am cooking some spaghetti noodles and getting ready to make a spaghetti casserole. And I will give you all the ingredients and I will read it where I won't make a mistake. But this is my mom's spaghetti casserole, and she will tell you that she got it from a friend and years ago. And I don't know about the other girls, my sisters, but I cook it all the time, especially if I have to take a meal somewhere to somebody. This is a great go-to to whip up quick, and it's filling and it'll feed a lot of people. But one of my favorite memories, and this is what I remember about spaghetti casserole, is we always had a camper. We started out with a truck camper and then went to a regular camper, and up until the time I turned into a teenager and thought I knew everything, we had to go with mom and dad. And on Friday nights, mom would always have a spaghetti casserole fixed and homemade yeast rolls. And that's what we ate. And we met friends there at the campground. And so we always had spaghetti casserole and yeast rolls. And it's just a great memory of mine. Saturday nights we had steak and baked potato and salad, and then of course Sunday was back to church. But it's just great memories of mine. I don't know if my sisters remember all that or not, but I use this for when I want to feed a crowd, when I want to take a meal to somebody. It's just great meal to take. It fills you up. It feeds a lot of people. And I will give you the recipe. So here's the recipe. It takes 1 pound of ground beef, 1 medium onion. I will show you what I use. Most of the time I use this or the frozen onions, or if I have chopped up an onion in the refrigerator, I'll use that. But this is real good because in case there's somebody like Sweet Hunter that doesn't like onions, he never knows it's in there, but it gives you that good taste. So 1 pound of ground beef, 1 medium onion, 1 cup of canned tomatoes, and I'm using this today, but any canned tomatoes will work. 1 cup of ketchup, a 1/4 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of steak sauce, and I'm just using this because it's what I have. I've used others. 1/4 chopped green pepper. I only have a red one, so I'm chopping that up. And then 5 ounces of spaghetti noodles, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, and 1 cup of grated cheese. You can buy the shredded cheese. I only have a little bit and I'm doubling the recipe, so I will have to grate some. And then salt and pepper to taste. You brown the ground beef in a skillet, you drain it, you add the onions, tomatoes, ketchup, steak sauce, and green pepper. And then you simmer it on the stove for 30 minutes. Then you add the cream of mushroom soup. You cook the spaghetti and drain it and add it to the mixture. Then you pour it all into a baking dish and sprinkle cheese over it and bake it at 350 for 30 minutes. So it's so easy. It's great. Just that and some rolls as a meal. So I'm doubling my recipe today, and I'll tell you that as I go. But let's get going. Okay, so I don't normally do this in a bowl, but I'm doing it in a bowl just to let y'all see. And then I'll put it in a pan and let it simmer. So, the first thing I've done is I browned my ground beef. Now remember, I have doubled this recipe because that's just what I do. I double every recipe and freeze it. Then I have a whole chest top freezer, a small one, full of casseroles and dishes in case of an emergency that we could grab and eat. Or if I don't feel like cooking. So I've browned my ground beef, I've drained it, and I'm going to add the onions, and it calls for 1 medium onion. Because Sweet Hunter doesn't like it, I don't put too much in here. And this is double what I would normally put. So, and this is dried onions, and I just like to keep them dried minced onions, and they will hydrate in the casserole. Then I'm going to do, let's see, it calls for 1 cup of canned tomatoes. And I'm using these. Always remember, wash the top, sides, and bottom of your can. Not just because of this virus, because anytime. I had a daughter that worked, her first job was in a grocery store, so I learned a lot. Now I'm using 2 cans of this because I'm doubling it. And it does call for 1 cup, but I just used the can. Let's see what it is. It's 14.5. Y'all know me, I don't measure, so very seldom do I measure. But I'm giving you the exact recipe in case you would like to. I'm just going to stir that up. And then I'm going to add some ketchup, which I have one that's about empty, and it calls for 1 cup. Again, I just eyeball it. And remember, I'm doubling, so I am putting double what it should have in here. I'm going to stir that up. And normally this would just be in a pan, a saucepan, but I'm doing it where y'all can see it. All right, it calls for 1/4 cup of water. So I'm doing about half a cup of water, just guessing. Because I'm doubling it. I hate to keep repeating that, but I'll get people that will text me and say that I put too much. Calls for 1/4 cup of steak sauce. I did put more because I'm doubling it, remember that. And then it calls for 1/4 cup of bell pepper, green bell pepper. I had one in the refrigerator I needed to use. It's red. It'll do the same thing. It just won't give it the color, but it will give it the taste. We are sheltered in at this time, so because of the coronavirus, so I am using what I have fresh as quick as I can. So now what we're going to do is put this on the stove and let it simmer for 30 minutes. So I'm going to let mine cook. Okay, I have simmered this for 30 minutes, and I've put it back in the bowl so you can see what I'm doing. I am adding the cream of mushroom soup, and remember I'm doubling it. So I will put 2 cans in, where if you're just making a regular one, you'll put 1. I am doubling mine, so. And this is on my cooking blog, if I didn't tell you, so I will put the link on there where you can get the exact recipe, and I'll post it on Facebook to one day, I think. But I'm gonna go ahead and post this to YouTube first, I think. Remember what I said about the cans, even before the virus, you wash the top, bottoms, and sides before you put it up, or before you use it for sure. It's better to do it as you put it up, because you are handling it. So you just stir that up. I've drained my spaghetti, and I am going to do this with my hands, so anybody wants to complain, just complain. But I have drained it, and I did extra for something else, so we'll see how much I need of this. And you just stir it in here, just cut it in. When I did my spaghetti, I broke it, so because it'll be more bite-sized pieces. And you can tell when it gets to the consistency where every bite will have a noodle in it. You don't want it too thick. And that's probably just about where I want it. Maybe a little bit more. What I'm doing with the rest of the spaghetti is I am going to do just a side dish of butter and salt and pepper and cheese for another meal. Okay, so this looks good. So I hope you can see it. Okay, now I'm going to dish it out in the pans, and I'm probably going to do that and bring you back. Now, you can put your salt and pepper in as you cook it, or you can put it on top of it. So this made 3 good little pans of spaghetti casserole. I'm giving 2 away, and I'm going to, we'll keep 1. If I wasn't giving it away, I would freeze 2, and we would eat 1. I like to keep these little disposable pans to do that. When I freeze them, I just double wrap it, triple wrap it, and so I'm going to use, I've got some shredded cheese here. I don't know how far we'll go on this, and I just cover these. Shredded cheddar cheese. I can't talk. And I like a lot, so I will have to shred some more because I won't have enough of that last one. So let me get that done. Just wanted to show y'all the final casseroles. They are delicious. You bake them at 350 for 30 minutes, in case I didn't tell you that.